Welcome to JWL Sports, where we review all the best sports clips from around the world. Now, you're probably wondering, why should I watch over here instead of maybe some of the other channels? Because over there, they don't really care about what you have to say. They don't read any of the comments. They talk down to you. They think you don't know what you're talking about. But I think it's the opposite. I think we know exactly what we're talking about. So I read every single comment. So if you think what I'm saying is the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, let me know in the comments below. If you think what I'm saying is the most amazing thing, then definitely please let me know. Either way, let's get into some discussions, let's get into some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and it's turning into something truly, truly special. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. So without further ado, let's get to it. We're watching a clip of First Things First, talking about basketball. LeBron James sent out a very cryptic tweet after their loss. They've been losing a bunch, and he has not been happy. Obviously, this is near the end of LeBron's career, and it's not. I think he was thinking that this team was going to be better this year, and clearly they are not. So I'm curious to see what they have to say with regards to this. So let's just jump right into it.
Lost to the Rockets in Chingu, and last night lost to the Hawks. LeBron's prognosis after the game, Brew? Grim. Take a listen.
We could, on any given night, beat any team in the NBA. And then on any given night, we get our ass kicked by any team in the NBA. I don't have any message for my teammates. Just go out and do your job. I mean, I'm not, appreciate it. Way to cut me off.
He's thanking the PR person for cutting him off because he was going to keep going. And then, Brew, he tweeted this hourglass that time is running out. A bit cryptic.
There's two hourglass emojis, Brew. One is when you just started, and one is when it's almost over.
Yeah, this is almost over.
Like the Days of Our Lives, opening, is the hourglass is running short.
Yeah, at the end of Days of Our Lives.
Exactly right.
I saw it this morning. I didn't have my reading glasses. I had no idea what it was.
Brew thought it was a coffee maker.
I thought it might be a coffee maker. I wasn't sure what the heck that was. Okay, but it's an hourglass. Look, his comments didn't bother me that much. That's actually a true story. I do think it might be a coffee maker. His comments didn't bother me. Obviously, he's saying, thanks for cutting me off, all that. But his comments were fine. The emoji was the real thing. Like, oh, my goodness. That's what raised eyebrows.
Fully caffeinated.
I don't know exactly what it meant, but it could have meant, what it could have meant is not good.
Okay, let's hear it.
Could have meant is time ticking on Darvin Ham.
Yes, I say yes.
Right?
That's okay. Draft pick number
That's
one.
number one?
Yeah.
It could have meant it's time ticking on some of my teammates
Draft
before
pick
the
number
trade
two,
deadline.
Yes.
Or it could have meant it's time ticking on my time with the Lakers. Or time
Yes,
missing.
correct.
None of those are good. Whichever one of those, it ain't good.
What if it's the
I know what
trifecta?
it did. It might be all three. It didn't mean, I believe, time ticking on my career. Like obviously it is, but I don't think he's saying I might be done after this year. I think he's going to definitely keep playing.
I like it as a wild card.
But here's what I would say to LeBron.
Real quick, just on that last thing, I don't think he was saying I might be done after this year. I think it could have. I think the fourth pick of the draft would be, I don't know how much time I have left.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Which is
As far as how much time I have at this.
That's what I think it is. I think it's, and this is always the annoying thing with LeBron James. He always wants to speak in riddles and control the narrative and be thinking. I don't think he's putting that clock to be like tick, tick, tick on Darvin Ham. That's pretty crappy. No matter what you feel about him, you don't take to Twitter like that. Like, that's just bizarre and weird. Or his players, like, you better get me different players. Like, I don't think that. I think he's kind of saying, like, yo, time is running out with me. Let's go. What are we doing? I'm still playing at the top of my game, or pretty high level, maybe not the top of my game, but a very high level of play right now. And I'm not the problem. It's the coaching and the players and the design and this, that, and the third. So, you need to go build a better team around me, or whatever it is. Or, my time is running out, and I have no problems, either leaving LA or, forcing a trade or doing whatever I need to do. Like, LeBron, I think, is at this point in his career, is very comfortable doing anything. And I think we all know that he really wants to play with his son. How that ends up panning out and where, I have no idea. But if LeBron James needed to go to, gosh, I can't even think of a random team that, the Hornets or something. wherever. The Charlotte Bobcats, no. But I would say that he would do that, So I think with LeBron, this little time is running out. I don't think it's him saying like this is my final year. There's no way he's doing that because he's going to announce his final year before the season so he can do a victory, like a farewell tour like Kobe did and get all of the energy and the emotions and the farewells and the goodbyes and the videos and stuff from every single arena. So I don't think that's what it is, and I don't think he's throwing out his coach and really even his players necessarily. I mean, like, I know to a degree he's obviously mad at his players because they said, what message do you have for his players? And he's like, do your job. Like, like it's, and I don't know what he is seeing personally, because this is where I think is always a tough part when you're criticizing your players, your teammates, that is. If they could do better and they are good enough, then criticizing maybe makes sense. But if this is your team and you're playing with people who this is as good as they can get, I think criticizing them is kind of a low blow. And this is something that Kobe Bryant had to learn. Kobe Bryant has a great story with Phil Jackson, where Kobe was getting really upset. This was earlier in his career. He was getting really upset with the players with the Lakers. And was just like, come on, like, you need to go harder. Like, what is going on? What is going on? You need to elevate, step up your game. Let's go. And he was getting really, really frustrated and angry. And, and Phil Jackson had to talk to Kobe and be like, you don't understand. Like, this is the best they can do. They are not you. They don't have these next levels that they can go to. Okay. They can't do what you can do. They don't have the energy. They don't have the recovery. They don't have the skill set. They don't have the motivation, the determination, the mindset, the everything. They just don't have that ability, and the more extreme example of that is like taking a high school athlete and being like, come on, play, just do more. And it's like, this is all I can do. Like, I can't do any better than I'm doing. And everyone reaches their peak. And if everyone just needed to work harder, and that's all there was for success, then everyone could be Kobe Bryant or LeBron James or Michael Jordan. And it's just not the case. There's plenty of athletes who work as hard as you possibly could imagine, harder than Michael Jordan, harder than LeBron James, harder than Kobe Bryant, just for them to stay in the league, just for them to, be the 10th man on the bench on the team. So it's not always about that. And so when you're calling those people out, if it's a lack of energy, if it's a lack of caring, if he's with a bunch of guys who are, obviously not putting in the work, or they've played better in the past and now they're just not doing it, then I could maybe understand. But if you're just with players who are just not good enough, I think at this point, be mature, be the man. You're the one who, with all the money, the victories, the trophies, the fame, the fortune, everything. And so, like, I just think, like, if the team's not good enough, because I've been on teams where I was the best, and I've been on teams where I was the worst. I was the worst because I was playing for better and better teams, and so naturally, unless you go to the pros and really go to the pros, the players are going to continue to get better, and you eventually reach your limit, and you're like, I can't get to the next level. So eventually, other people are better than you, and there's other teams where I just was, undoubtedly the best, and on those teams that I was the best on, it was very obvious when players were trying their best. And when I was younger, yeah, I'd get frustrated and annoyed. I'd be like, oh my God, do better. But then as I grew up and matured, it was just like, all right, this is as good as this person's going to get. This is the best they can do. And the best they can do is maybe not that good. And I have to accept that and understand that and work around that. And I'm not going to throw that person under the bus or scold him for making an error, messing up, because he's not as good and he's not as good as me. So why am I going to talk down to him or throw him under the bus or make fun of him or whatever the case may be? And so that is one of the things I don't love about LeBron James. I get the frustration. I get it. I do. He wants to keep winning. Anyone who thinks that he doesn't want to keep winning, I think, is confused. But, and it's hard. Basketball is a tough sport to go out there, day in and day out, running up and down the court, and to not really have a chance at winning. It's a lot. It's a lot on the body. It's exhausting. It's a long season, a lot of travel. And he's getting older, more annoyed. The people in the locker room are younger. He has less in common with them. He's getting older and they're getting younger. That's the way it works. We've seen this with virtually every single elite aging athlete, whether it's Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, LeBron James, Steph Curry, right? They wanted Jordan Poole out of there. They wanted the young and the immaturity out of there. They said, leave. We don't want you. Get out of here. And they got an aging old, veteran. Whether it made basketball sense or not, it made locker room sense, and that's the difference. And so I think that's also what LeBron is really struggling. LeBron's married with multiple children. His children are entering into the NBA one day, maybe next year or the year after, or whatever. While these other kids are like literally still going through puberty. They're still mature. Like they're literally still going through puberty. It's a fact. You're still maturing and your body is still changing at 23, 24, 25. Your brain is still developing. It's not fully developed until we think now at 28 is the when it finally stops, and maybe even longer. So these people are still developing, and that's tough. LeBron is older and more mature, and so I'm sure that's getting really hard for him. And it's easier when you're winning, because then you're just like, all right, we're winning, and winning always cures any of those issues. But that's not necessarily the case that's happening right now. But what do you all think? What do you think the tweet meant? Do you think LeBron was calling out his coach, the team? Do you think he's talking about himself? I would love to hear your thoughts on this one. Please let me know in the comments below. Please don't forget to subscribe. As I said, we are building an amazing community here, and it's turning into something really special, and I would love to have you part of it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really helps with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.